everybody.
Is it? Is it a good morning?
You know what time it is?
Let me check my watch.
Oh yeah, you got a new watch there.
It's not really new. I just never wear it.
Oh, well, new.
I'm all dressed up like I'm going somewhere.
It's new to me.
I'm playing. Not really. I'm playing dress up.
Oh, okay.
It's time to save some money.
It is. I like talking about trying to save money. As you know, I pinch pennies, and for some people, it's a little ridiculous. Some of the things I pinch pennies on, and
They say you're cheap.
Yeah, sometimes I'm cheap, but I want to explain why I'm cheap and where I am willing to.
Please do explain.
And where I am willing to save money and why, and where I am willing to spend money in certain things in certain areas, like an investment type expenditure. But we're going to start off with, let's say you have, and some of these will be tips. Some you may have heard before. I don't know that there's not anything that you haven't heard before, but I'm really wanting to drive home a couple things that many people do. I'm going to say 80-90% of the people do.
So this is a little bit of Finance 101 and a little bit of soapbox is what you're saying?
Yeah, there's some soapbox mixed in there, but I'm going to validate it with numbers. So we're playing numbers.
I'm going to need a drink for this.
Yeah, you might. So you can't really do a whole lot about your current financial situation if you're on fixed income. That fixed income could be that you're retired. That fixed income could be that you're in a job but you don't plan on moving, or changing jobs, or willing to, track or relocate to a job that pays better. So if you have loans, let's say you have credit card debt or a vehicle debt, even a mortgage debt. This is all debt. And what you want to try to do is focus on paying the highest interest rates first. I would focus on those credit cards.
You mean paying extra because you have to pay the minimum on them all?
Yes. If you're paying minimum on a credit card, you're almost never going to get that thing paid off. You have to pay it off every month, or at least work towards paying it off every month. And I'll even share some tips that we do. I think we both are pretty financially compatible, and that we agree on most things when it comes to money. Now, when it comes to money, there are a lot of things we don't agree on. But I think when it comes to money, for the most part, it's not 100%. We agree on a lot of the expenditures. Like when we ran the campground and we needed this or needed to buy that, or put money towards this instead of that, we kind of agreed on most of that stuff. You disagree with that statement? Okay, well, you'll get your chance to opine. So try to pay off those credit cards first. The higher interest rate ones first. I think
nowadays they have really high rates.
They are if you're paying in the 20% range,
that should be illegal.
It should be.
But that's a whole nother soapbox, I guess.
It is. So interest you pay to anyone, whether it's a mortgage, a car payment, an interest. This is all money that's you're kind of, for lack of a better word, you're kind of just throwing that money away because you're paying to borrow money, and the whole concept of paying to borrow is kind of a push-pull. In other words, it's not helping. Now, if you're able to borrow a large sum of money at a low rate for an investment that is going to make money, that's different. So your income needs to offset your payment. It shouldn't be the other way around. So like we keep, and I'll share this with you because it's not a big secret. I'm sure a lot of people do this. Some people don't have a credit card. But I think in today's economy and today's world, you almost need a credit card.
Yeah, my Oma never had a credit card. Yeah. She said if she couldn't pay for it in cash, then she couldn't afford it. Like every house she bought, she paid cash.
Yeah, so we have really one credit card and one debit card. and I'll explain the difference. Basically, the credit card is anything you charge to the credit card, you're borrowing money from the bank that it pulls from at an interest rate that usually compounds after the first 30 days or so. There's like a grace period. So if when your payment comes due and it says your minimum payment's $40, but the payoff is $600, then you should pay it off if you can. That's what we do. We typically have one credit card, and all of our bills, routine bills, go to that credit card. Like if we visit, like the dentist. Yesterday we visited the dentist. The co-payment for each of us was $15, so I paid $30. It goes on that credit card. Now, at the end of the month, I get a bill. It usually is somewhere between, to pay it off, is usually somewhere between 800 and usually the low thousands, like 800 to 1200, let's say. When I pay it off. I don't make payments, I pay it off. Sometimes there's no minimum due. Doesn't matter, I pay it off because I don't want to pay any interest. So you're like, well, why do you have a credit card then? Well, because you can get rewards on the credit card, you can earn points on the credit card, and that gives you discounts on gas and merchants and other things. So there is an advantage to a credit card. Also, if you pay for something through the credit card and it's fraudulent, then the bank kind of backs you up and will credit it, investigate it, and all that. So you have some security factors involved. So that's what a credit card is really good for, the security backing and money in an emergency. You know, you want to be able to pay for an emergency. Like, I don't know, say you needed to get a tooth extracted, you were in advanced pain, there's going to be a higher copayment. Well, you need to have that money ready to go, and the credit card is good for that.
Or if I want to get an ice cream cone at Cold Stone, that's not an emergency?
No. Those would be extra incidentals, I guess we call it, but we're going to get to those things here in a minute, and I'm going to give you my opinion on those things, which you can probably already guess.
I have fun though.
Yeah. So pay off those credit cards first. So the debit card, what that does, you don't earn rewards with the debit card. The debit card may have a credit card logo on it. It just means it's accepted in those places, but debit card direct deposits, direct debits right out of your checking account that it's tied to.
So you better have that money in there now.
So it's not a bill you're going to get at the end of the month. It's a direct debit. If I go to Walmart today at 11 o'clock and I buy a hairbrush, then
you need one.
That $3 hairbrush is going to come right out of your bank right then, just that quick.
$3. You're a little out of touch.
I'm just giving examples. So, I mean, just as soon as you scan your debit card and you walk out the door, if you were to look up on your bank on your phone, you'd see, boom, $3 pending. So it's done. It's a done deal. We do some debiting, but it ain't a lot. And I'm trying to think what it is we actually debit for, and I can't really remember any. It'd be something small. It wouldn't be any big things.
I don't know, because I think you use that card for everything: gas, groceries.
Credit card, not debit card.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say I can't think of anything you use the debit card.
No.
Because as far as I'm aware, you use the credit card for the gas, the groceries, and everything.
The debit card, we use it at the ATM at our bank if we need cash to go to these estate sales.
Yeah, okay.
That's about the only thing we use it for. Yeah. And the reason we take cash at the estate sales is because they have an upcharge for using your credit card. So a lot of companies are doing that. They're starting to charge a fee for using a credit card. And so then, and I get it. So
yeah, they're just passing on the fee that they get charged.
Yeah.
Which I understand that. I mean,
I do, but how come they haven't always done it? Why are they just more recently starting to do that?
Probably because those companies are raising their rates and everything's going up, and they're tired of charging. It's either they upcharge for the item and mask it in there so you don't know, or they're just going to straight up tell you, we're passing this on to you. I'd rather they just straight up tell you instead of masking it.
I think the credit card fees used to be around 1.5%, and now they're around 3.5%. So that's probably a big reason why they're like, oh, well,
I get it.
we can eat 1% for the business, but we're not going to eat 3 or 4%. You know, they have a bottom line; they have to make money too. So we get it. So moving on with that, so we have one credit card, which actually has 2 cards to it. So she has one, I have one, and then there's a debit card. I think you have one, and I have one, but they go to different accounts because one is a Madam Mayor's account and one is a personal account. So we split it up that way because sometimes we have Madam Mayor expenses, which might be traveling, camping, that kind of thing, and then we have more personal expenses. So I think that's kind of self-explanatory. But let's see. I'm just trying to get in my head everything we want to talk about. So let's say you pay off your credit card every month and you're sitting in a comfortable position financially. You're not wealthy. We're not talking about rich people. Because rich people, I'm not going to say all rich people because I don't want to categorize them, but they tend to not care as much about how much they're paying for things. So they have money coming out of the, falling out of the sky onto them because of either good decisions they've made or they work, they own businesses. They've taken risks younger and they've been fortunate. I don't know any rich person that's never been also fortunate. They've had, good luck and good people and good smarts, and they put it all together and they make money. So anyway, the more wealthy people tend to just kind of throw money at problems. Like, hey, I need to get my grass cut. Well, why should I do it? I'll just pay him. And so they just do this. And so even if I were rich, I don't see myself paying somebody else to do something I can do. And I enjoy doing like cutting the grass. I don't like weed eating, but I can see where I'd be in a situation where I have to pay somebody to do something like that, because what if we're not here? I'm not going to let the grass get up to here. So then I would have to hire somebody to do that because I'm not there to do it. Otherwise, I like to do things myself. Change my own oil, do my own maintenance on the vehicles, because not only am I saving money, but I enjoy doing those things, and I know they're going to get done right if I do them myself. We've had a recent discussion with a family member where, this person doesn't change their own oil. They take it somewhere. I was like, great. What kind of oil did they put in it? He didn't know. So that's a problem. I think you need to know what kind of oil goes in your vehicle, because it should be consistent with every oil change.
When I worked at the post office and I had to change my oil a lot in the Jeep, and I only had 1 day off a week, and it got to the point where paying them to change my oil was the same amount as if I bought it and changed it. My time was very valuable.
Yes.
And I would just take it somewhere. I did for years and years where I would change my own oil, but when the price equaled out, I was like, my time is worth more. So
that price will sometimes equal out because they change oil and volume, but they are using the cheapest oil too, and they're probably using regular motor oil. There is a big difference between, like a Pennzoil regular motor oil and fully synthetic oil. Fully synthetic oil has lubricants that the traditional motor oils don't have. Now, we're not going to get into this in depth, but a regular quart of motor oil is maybe $3, where synthetic is $9 to $10. I use full synthetic in everything.
is everything $3?
No, I'm just.
That's the number you always default.
Yeah, I like $3, I guess. I don't know why.
None of it is $3, by the way.
No, it's probably a lot more than that. It's probably $5, $6. But synthetic oil is more, and most oil changing places don't use it unless you specify it. And
Well, they
pay
have different
more for
tiers. Yeah, they have different
Yes.
tier packages that you would get.
But I am just afraid that if I go in there and I say I want specifically this brand of oil, this weight of oil, and I think they're going to mess it up, and I'm going to be upset because, like that motorhome, it takes Mobil 1 ESP diesel oil, fully synthetic. If you put anything else in it, you're going to ruin it. I've only, I think, had someone else change my oil one time. And it was a Trailblazer. I took it in. I told them what to change it to. They did all that right as far as I know, because they don't show you the oil they put in it or any of that. But what they failed to do is there was a little plastic trap door that you had to open to get to the filter, and they didn't replace that door. And you're thinking, okay, that's not a big deal. Well, it kind of is a big deal, because that door has a purpose, and it's to keep the road grime from going up onto the bottom of the engine. And so it was a while before I realized that door was missing. And somewhere in their shop, they have a little plastic door sitting somewhere over in the corner or in the trash at a landfill now, and that door should have went back on there. And my point is, if they didn't pay enough attention to the project or to the job to replace that plastic door, then do you think they're going to pay enough attention to replacing it with the right oil filter and the right oil and putting the right amount in there and all that? I don't trust them. I just don't. I like doing stuff myself, especially things where you can save a whole lot of money. Like that motorhome, you can spend $800 to $1,200 at a dealership getting that oil changed, and I can do it for less than $200. And you're thinking $200 is even a lot. It's $10 a quart, and there's 13 quarts, and then you have to get the Mercedes filter. So it is about $200, my cost. But it's all available on Amazon. It delivers right to your door, and I get it way before I'm going to do it, and then I have it on the shelf ready to go, and it's just easy that way. I like to plan things. I like to be methodical. I have an order of things, and I'm the same way with my money. So, like, I'm going to transition now back to Finance 101 conversation.
Please do.
So, like, we have the one credit card, and we pay it off every month. There's no debt carried forward. Lowe's, there's an example. I don't like department store cards. They charge a lot of interest. However, when we got here, we needed to get windows put in this place. So we did get a Lowe's card and opened up an account, and they kick in some extra free money and some perks when you open your accounts. Now, I specifically used it for the windows, and when they got done and the bill came, I paid it off. I have not since used that card since. I still have it. If I needed a big job or something came up, I'd have it available. But I don't plan on using it. When we go to Lowe's, we don't use that card to buy at Lowe's. We just, use our credit card and pay off. So another thing you should pay off, if you've got everything else paid off, like car payments are a little bit different because they're front loaded with the interest. And so if you're already a year or two into your auto loan, you've probably already paid the interest on that loan, because they take the interest on the loan and they front load it.
Just like a mortgage?
Yeah, kind of like a mortgage. So most of the interest you pay on a car is going to be in the first year or so, depending on your rate.
Unless you got one of those 0% for a certain amount of time, then you want to try to get it paid off in that certain amount of time.
Yes. And
I've had those before.
You want to make sure you pay it off in that certain amount of time. Now, do you want to pay extra to principal? Not if it's 0%. You're borrowing money for free.
Oh yeah, you got to do the calculation and make sure it doesn't go past that time frame.
Yeah.
If so, then you do want to pay extra. But
right. If
you have to do some math.
Yeah, if you go past the time frame at the end of the loan and you have a little balance left, they actually can go back and charge you the interest all the way from the beginning. So it's really important to make those payments on time.
So don't do any Mary math. Do some real math.
Yeah. Make sure that you're paying it off within the description of the contract. So read that contract. Home loans. We have a decent rate on this home, but it's not great. Interest rates did just rise on Monday. They went to 6.75.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
So yeah, I watch a lot of real estate videos, and I enjoy watching those. I like the information, and I just like properties and money and that kind of stuff. So
you never know what day he's going to be selling this place and buying another one.
Not for a while.
I'm prepared to pack. I'm going on a trip.
house market right now is a little insane, and I'll give you an example of that. We have an example right next door of how much people are just willing to do this, and I don't get it. I don't. Maybe someone can explain it to me in the chat. Maybe it's a tax write-off. I don't know. But millionaires will spend money and just spend money and spend money. I don't know. But anyway, getting back to you.
Really?
Yeah, keep me on my. I got my little soapbox
I can't
segments.
keep you on nothing. Like, if I could do that, wow.
So what we do here is we do pay extra on our mortgage, and we've done that every day since day one. We pay an extra $1,000 to principal on every payment. So that's an automatic payment. It drafts right off of an account that we have in Florida, and it automatically pays, and then we add $1,000 to principal every month so we can pay this thing down. Now we have a 6.125 rate on this, and that's not bad for a VA loan. We didn't have to put any money down because it's a VA loan. We didn't have to pay for PMI, that's private mortgage insurance, for the gap between what they said the house is worth and what you're paying for it. There shouldn't be that much of a gap, but there's always usually some kind of a gap there. But you don't have to, with the VA loan, you don't have to buy PMI insurance. With a traditional loan, you could have to. Doesn't mean you always will. So it just depends on your loan circumstances. But just try to pay things off. Like, let's see. We've got a few toys in the garage, as you know, but they're used. They're all used. They're all paid off. We're not paying on any of them. The only thing that we have a payment on is this house. And we've been able to get it down about $70,000 off of what we've paid for it so far. So we're doing good. We'll keep moving forward and get it paid off hopefully pretty soon. And you know how much money you're saving by paying down on your mortgage? If you have a 30-year mortgage, I don't have a table in front of me, but you can Google this stuff. If you have a $300,000 mortgage, let's say, I don't know why I like threes for some reason. Could be 333,000. And let's say your payment is $1,000 a month, and you put another $500 a month on it every month. You pay down the interest exponentially. It is huge. You will be saving tens of thousands of dollars every year on mortgage interest. Look it up for your situation. So it's crazy how much money you save paying on your loan. You're like, yeah, but I don't have enough money. It doesn't, that's another thing I guess we'll get into. When you're buying a house or looking to buy a house, and they say you're approved to buy a $500,000 house, does that mean you should go out and buy a $500,000 house? No, that would be very dangerous, because here's the factors that can make your payments go up that you're not looking to. And some states are more prevalent with this than others, and I think Florida is a good example of that, where, people flock to Florida because of the weather and the no taxes, and possibly soon to be no property tax for some people. But the other thing that Florida has that's very expensive and you can't really get away from it, insurance costs are high and they go up every year. So when you have a mortgage and when you first closed on your mortgage, it probably included your insurance and your interest, your insurance and your, what am I trying to say? Your insurance. It included the insurance. There's two insurances, I'm thinking. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so it included the insurance. And then let's say the insurance goes up every year. Well, your mortgage payment's going to go up with it. So HOA fees can go up if you're in an HOA. And I think it was something like, was it like 60% of homes nationally are in a HOA? I think that's a very high number.
Well, they say that the newer neighborhoods are being built as such right off the rip. They're going to that more frequently, which is odd. But if you think about it, it's a big money maker for a select few.
The thing that scares me with an HOA, and we are in a POA, and I'll explain that too. We read it, and here they don't. I have not seen any evidence that they use the POA. It's a property owners association as opposed to a homeowners association, and it's the POA here is designed that everybody gives $150 a year, so it's like $12 a month or something, or $8.50 a month. I forget what it comes out to, but and that's for access to a public boat ramp that's inside the community. So it's a private boat ramp and parking lot area. So that's kind of a perk. Now it's optional; you don't have to pay it, but you won't get a key. It's locked. So that's a decision you make. And there are some in here that don't pay for it. And then there are some outside the community that have asked the POA board members if they can buy in. Like, we just live right up the street outside your subdivision, but we're interested in using your boat ramp. Would you let us? They do present that sometimes to the public in the public meetings. We have one annual meeting a year. Usually on July 4th weekend, which they did this year. And they talked about that. They say, hey, the Smith family up the road would like to join the POA, the boat ramp, the key access, and they've paid their dues. And I think they do charge them a little more. I don't know what that amount is, if it's $200 or $250, but I think and the members vote on it, and we get to vote too with everybody. Raise of hand kind of thing, show of hand, and usually everybody says, yeah, sure, why not? So so some people have opted in that it's not even available to, and others have opted out because I guess either they don't have a boat, they don't plan to use the public boat dock, or they'll take their boat to the private one, they'll take it to there are several public boat docks on this lake, so maybe they opt to do that instead. We like the convenience that it's right here, so we do pay it. We don't mind that. But some HOAs, you can get assessments with HOAs. Let's say they decided they want to repave, and they've already been doing some talking. They want to repave the parking lot area. There's probably about 15 spaces there. Let's say they decide they want to repave it. Well, there's going to be an assessment. Let's say they get it done for $60,000. Well, they're going to spread it over everybody in here, and everybody's going to have to pay a little extra. Now, that's above and beyond your normal HOA or POA payment. This would be an assessment. That can happen a lot in the HOAs. I know, where is that down in Florida? The villages, they are notorious for adding assessments and all kind of stuff that can drive the cost of your home up. Now, so if you barely got into your $500,000 house, and these assessments start coming and your insurance rates because of hurricanes keep going up, you might get forced or priced out of your house. So I recommend that you don't ever buy more house. Don't buy what you get approved at. You need to come below that and leave some cushion there so that you can make principal payments, or so that you have extra money to pay other things, and realize that other bills can hit you. Like, we had the roof ripped off of this house. Fortunately, that was covered by insurance. There was a deductible. So you have to have, some money available for emergencies, unplanned expenses. Things break down. If you have to replace a furnace, or you have to replace an AC unit, those can be very costly repairs. You need to have a little extra money, cash flow, in case something like that happens, which is why you pay your credit card off, because if you need money in an emergency, you always have the credit card, but just be aware you need to try and pay that off every month. Okay, so we're going to move on.
You're going to have to do several episodes of this, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting winded here.
Not you. The audience is shocked.
Not really. Things that we do here to try to save money. And it just makes sense. Now, we don't do this 100% of the time. Tennessee doesn't have an income tax, and we love it. But they do have a high sales tax. The utility costs are pretty low here. I think they're about half what Florida was. Florida's utility rates, I thought they were good, but they're not as good as they are here. I think our highest electric bill was really hot last month. And I think this air conditioning portable unit has helped save on the big one kicking on a lot. And I think it was $100 and something
131.
$131, and I was applauding that. I was expecting it to be close to $3. So I was like, woo, good. And it was hot. I mean, it was full AC 24/7. So things to save money here in Tennessee specifically. Well, because I'm military, I have military retiree. We have benefits at the commissary. So the commissary doesn't have a tax. So that's how we save money on groceries. Now, got ahead of myself a little bit. Tennessee is one of 6 states, I believe, that actually tax unprepared foods like grocery items. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. There's been whispers of it going away. It hasn't gone away yet. Florida does not tax groceries, so that's most states don't. Actually.
I just thought that was everywhere. I never knew
It's not.
until I moved here.
So fortunately, we kind of get around that by using the commissary. You could go to a neighboring state, like we're just 23 miles from Alabama, so you could go over there. But just we have to drive an hour down to Huntsville to get a good grocery store option.
But then you're spending that money in gas.
Yes, so we don't
and
do
time.
We don't do that. I'm just saying it's an option. And the taxes in Alabama are not that much less. They're lower in state sales tax, but their municipal taxes are higher. So if you're going to a store that's like in the city of Huntsville, you're going to pay about the same as you would here. Excuse me. The municipal taxes are like 2.5%, 3%. That's crazy. So here, the grocery tax. So we do sometimes. We first shop the commissary, then we'll shop Publix. Now Publix is not a cheap store to shop at. I get it, but we exclusively shop Publix for the BOGO items because we like the store. We do like Publix.
I mean, you're just going in there to get a select few things.
A select few things, and when you get them on a BOGO, here's another thing about the Publix in Tennessee you may not know. In Florida, and every state where Publix is might be different, so you got to check your state. But in Florida, to get the BOGO, you had to buy both items, and then it's half the cost. So it's the cost of one, but you got to get 2. Here in Tennessee, you can buy 1, and it's half price. That's how the BOGO works in Tennessee. So that's kind of nice. Sometimes you don't want 2 bottles of syrup for your pancakes. 1 bottle is enough.
If you don't have a big family, it's 1 or 2 people, that works out to buy less.
Right. So if the syrup is BOGO, we'll buy the syrup, but we'll just get 1, so it'll be half price. Now you're paying tax on that, but I think it's 4% for Tennessee's food tax. It's 4%. So although it's not the 9.25%, it's still tax. It's money that goes away, and it doesn't benefit you in any way. It may benefit others, but that's a subject for another day. But you want to try to pay as least amount of tax as possible. I think we're all on board with that. So we do that, and then Aldi's for a couple of items. We'll get at Aldi's. And you can get good prices at Aldi's too. We try to shop the red tags, although you can't.
We go there less and less.
Yeah, it is less and less.
I don't know, I've noticed everywhere, and Aldi's used to be a place I would go to mainly for produce, but lately produce is in sad shape in every store, including Publix, including the commissary. It's just not, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and it's not the standard it used to be. It's come down. I think Aldi's problem with the produce is it's right by the doors, and the doors open up all the time, all day long, and so it's not really getting cooled down as much as it should.
Well, I would go with that theory if that's the way it's always been, but no. And they've always been by the door, and the produce was good, so I can't go with that theory.
Okay, well, I guess
I'm just
depending on how
going
busy that store
with
is.
quality control has gone to crapola,
Yeah.
so might be a good idea to have your own little garden.
Okay, we're going to move on. I got written here some auctions. Okay, when you're doing auctions, read a little bit of the bylaws within the auction, because you may get let's say you're looking to buy, I don't know, a used car on auction or a golf cart. Let's say a golf cart. and let's say it's $3,000 just to stay in line. $3,000 golf cart's a great deal. It's probably worth $5,000. However, let's say you win the bid, $3,000. Now you got to go pick it up and pay. Okay, there's the cost of going to go get it. So wherever that is, and if you have a trailer, if you have to rent a trailer, get it loaded up, bring it home, and you don't know if it even works if it's an online auction. Other things, that's with any auction. But the cost is what I'm talking about here. So you could have built-in buyer's premiums at auctions. So there's a fee that goes to the auctioneer. That's money that's just gone. There's also going to be tax probably at that auction. So whatever state you went to pick that item up in, if it's not your state, there's probably a tax. You're going to get taxed. The buyer's premium. There could be some other fees in there too with auctions. Auctions have sometimes they have a lot of little hidden fees. To clean your storage unit out fee if you don't do that, and there can be some hidden costs. So it's not always your winning bid price is not always your final price. So just keep that in mind on auctions. I'm not saying auctions are bad or good. I'm just saying you got to be aware of the rules. Maintaining your vehicle. Now, we did talk at length about oil changes, and of course tire rotations are important. These are things you can do yourself, or you can get a friend to help you do them and save a bunch of money. It is much cheaper to maintain your vehicle than to wait until it breaks down to repair your vehicle. It's much easier to go and buy tires now if you know you need tires than it is to try to fix or repair an inner dual when it's 100 degrees on the side of a highway in Nevada. I'm just making all this stuff up because you didn't look at the tires and they were bulging or they were starting to crack. There's a date on your tires, the manufacturer's date. And if your vehicle sits in the sun, those are things you need to think about. The deterioration of the paint, the deterioration of the dashboard. Rubber doesn't like the sun either, so hiding your tires. A lot of motorhomes you'll see they're parked in the campground. And if they're parked there for a while, they'll put a tire cover over it. Well, why are they doing that? They're trying to, minimize the amount of wear and tear from the sun being on the tire. Because the number one killer of paint, vinyl surfaces, canvas surfaces, and tires, rubber, even rubber on the car, is the sun. The sun does a lot of damage, and people don't realize that. But it does a lot of damage. Just like it damages your skin, it damages other things that it is on all the time. So if you can minimize some of that, even I do it with the car. The car doesn't park inside the garage. Everything else does, but the car is outside, but it's a carport. But I know in the evening that sun comes at an angle and it comes under that carport a good distance. And so I try to park the car all the way to the front of the carport as far as I can, so the evening sun is hitting less of the car on the angle in the evenings, in the late evenings. So that's just something I think about because I'm just that way. I'm that pinchy guy that tries to think of every little thing.
Speaking of which, there's the tire on the Jeep you should have a look at.
There is actually, yeah.